of these diplomatic arrangements. On the broader point, I think Andras is absolutely right that Orban has been able to cultivate good relations and maintain good relations with Washington, Moscow, Beijing, but he hasn't maintained good relations with Ukraine. If anything, they're getting worse. And while it is understandable that Hungary has concerns about Ukrainian politics, there are, for example, the Ukrainian government introduced, even before the invasion of its own country by Russia, restrictions on the use of the Hungarian language and other ways in which the Hungarians could feel more marginalized, the Hungarian minority in Ukraine. The real problem is that Orban and his government started from the beginning of this conflict with a lack of faith in Europe and the West to really be able to defend Ukraine. Their bet, and it's not an unreasonable bet, is that Russia will have the advantage in this war. And it is, I think, reflective of the way Orban sees the world, that for him, you've got to work with the big powers. You've got to work with the winners. A moral, idealized, optimistic vision is not appropriate for the tough part of the world in which Hungary finds itself. And that's his way of seeing things. I would just add, however, that there are lots of Hungarians who are concerned about this policy. It really is a divisive policy within Hungary, and a number of Hungarians are very, very sympathetic towards Ukraine and feel that more should be done. So I think it's a polarizing issue there. But Orban has taken a position which is that reality has to be faced, and Europe is not capable of fully defending Ukraine. And on that, the question remains open whether Europe really can achieve the defense of Ukraine that Orban questions.
Thanks, Thomas. Gunilla, I interviewed the Hungarian Foreign Minister, Péter Szijjártó, earlier this year at the Antalya Diplomacy Forum. And I wanted to get into the issue of the relationship with President Trump and President Orban. And what he said to me was, he said, what you need to understand is we were Trump before there was Trump. How much do you think Orban has influenced the American president?
I think they're influencing each other. There's even talk in the US about this urbanization of America and of the MAGA movement. And I think there's a lot of similarities between them in their ideology, also in their personalities. And Trump has portrayed Orban as very tough and efficient leader. Many of the things that were mentioned before about Orban is something that Trump is repeating. He's calling him a smart guy, a tough guy, no one is better, he's the boss, and so forth. I remember that Orban was one of the first ones going to Mar-a-Lago with Trump. So they definitely have a good relation. And I think it is also because they have the same leadership style. And for Trump's point of view, he likes Orban a lot also because of the way he has his security and immigration policy, because that is something we know for Trump is important, the border control, sovereignty, and so forth, keeping your country safe. That is something that he thinks that Orban is doing. Orban is thinking that Trump is doing it. And then they share this kind of ideology that they both reject the globalist agendas. They are against the power being concentrated in Brussels or in Washington, the political establishment, and not least, they're both against everything that's woke. And that is something that they have in common.
Thanks, Gunilla. Andras, back to you. I just want to ask you about migration and how Hungary has achieved what it has with migration, because we're in London, in the United Kingdom, 50,000 people have come to the UK illegally.